Hello friends, welcome to a new video of Scoring Card Shows. Danny here, and I have Sarah with me today. How are you, Sarah?
Hi Danny, well, I'm looking forward to telling you a little bit about our experience at this card show.
Well, yes friends, we were in Glasgow at the Dublin Card Show. This card show was held on June 28 and 29, 2025. Here we will see some images of the Scottish event campus in Glasgow. What did you think of the place, Sarah?
Well, the truth is that it's pretty good. A very modern place. It had 3 buildings, each one dedicated to a function, and we were assigned to the set. And well, the truth is that the building was incredible with lots of light. And remember, if you like our videos, you can support us by following us on our YouTube channel, also on our Instagram channel, giving a like and sharing. Click the bell so you don't miss any of the card shows we're going to. There are lots of surprises.
Remember our Instagram at ECF Sports Cards. Look how cool the entrance to the grounds is. On the left, we have a cafeteria. We will talk about the services later on. These screens told us that the car show was there. They were really cool. Although CGC, it seems to me that was not there, even though it appeared on those screens. The company that was grading was another local company that we will show you later.
Well, they made some changes to some of the lineups because they had more guests in addition to the ones we're going to see. They also had some sports guests who couldn't make it. Yes, and now we'll be looking at the entry here.
We arrived a little late the first day, and this one is the second day, the one that we are showing you. This queue was formed. It was a big queue. To get in, we had a general admission ticket. Also, the truth is that we got in pretty quickly despite the number of people there.
Yes, they told us there will be approximately 5,000 visitors per day, so we thought it was a bit exaggerated. And they handed out different wristbands for Saturday and Sunday, but they handed them out early in the queue and we were able to get in on time.
Let's see here in this section. We're going to show you what kind of cards we saw. Here you can see some base cards, some parallel cards, some autographs, not from very top players. Check out these patches from the Immaculate collection. Very cool, isn't it? Well, relatively affordable. You know, these prices are on pounds, not in euros. Look at this Pablo Barrios, number 225. It's coming home. Maybe it will end up in a new home soon. We will see. Look at these cards. This Peter Cech. Unmistakable. There we have a Conor McGregor up there. In addition to these football cards, some golf players.
Yes, there were cards from other sports at this stand.
Yep, that's true. At least there was variety. As you will see in a moment, we are still passing around some cards here so you can see what kind of material there was. And now we are off to the basketball card. Some graded cards. You can see there 9.5 patches, autograph. Nothing too top notch. And as you can see, in most cases there were no display cases. It seems the organization didn't offer them. Otherwise, we don't quite understand why people didn't have these things better organized.
This table is from our friend from Italy, sccards.it, who always brings some pretty high quality cards, autographs, number cards. But well, as you can see, he didn't have much space to put all his stuff.
Some parallels of the UEFA Women's Champions League.
Well, this stall sucked us because of the basketball figurines they had there.
Yes, and well, card sellers, the truth is, there weren't many. We took this box of vintage Futera multi-sports that we are going to open at the end of this video. It will surprise you for sure. These Futera cards here, there were a lot of different cards. Here we have this stall from Atlético de Madrid. Wow, we found this Christian Vieri, El Capo Canonieri from Atlético de Madrid. And over here we can see this box of Topps Chrome UFC 2025 Blaster box that was already on sale, although it hasn't come out yet on the Topps website.
And look how curious these top Showtime boxes are from season 22-23.
£75.
Too risky to get nothing. We've already taken a big risk with Futera.
UFC Blaster box that we opened on Instagram, you can see the reels there in different parts of Scotland. And here we have PC Commando cards, which had a ton of albums, a lot of base cards, isn't it?
Yes, a lot of base cards. And here we go for a moment to Daka's stand. Yes, there are now bringing new collections in addition to top boxes, exclusive boxes from China and some cards from TCG Collections. Check out this Atlético de Madrid box from 22-23. Do we ever have to open one of these?
Will it be mine anytime?
How much is that box worth?
120.
This is another conversion from 120 pounds to 120 euros.
We have also seen these boxes in Europe.
And this little box?
This season's Topps Chrome, but it's an special edition that only includes 8 cards, but includes 3 autographs.
And what price did that have?
Around 300 or 400 pounds. It's expensive. It assures you a lot, but you know. And over here, Hope Heroes had tons of stuff from Glasgow Celtics and from Glasgow Rangers.
They had stickers, they had keychains, trading cards, they had a great variety. Also, as you can see, the prices are affordable, £3, £5.
They also had quite a few Topps Now cards there in a little pile. They had some number parallels, like the rest of the stalls. Nothing that particularly caught our attention. Nothing very top notch to show you in this stall either.
The truth is that in general neither much quantity nor much quality. It was a car show from the point of view of a sports car collector, a bit disappointing.
Of course, in TCG we actually find all kind of collection, not just the most popular collections today like Pokemon or One Piece.
There were a lot. Well, yeah, you'll see a brief summary.
As always, we leave you at the end of other collections more about that. We continue seeing some Celtic cards here. Here we find this Angelito Correa. I think it's almost the rookie card. At least the first cards from Topps. It costs £8. Is for Top's Finest from 2017. I think we didn't take it at the end, but it's a card that we really like.
And here you can see some of the PCA graded cards. That's good, he had them there like a treasure.
And now we are going to have some words that the owner gave us about this Santa Claus card.
So there's a story behind that.
No, we don't know.
I'll tell you the story behind that. So at Christmas time, Celtic weren't playing very well. Santa came out and he got booed by the home fans who were getting beat off Hearts, and there was a big uproar about it. Well then Rangers won, I think it was a CIS Cup, and they got Santa to bring out the trophy. So when we won the league in May, we got Santa to bring out the trophy.
Okay.
You
didn't know.
So then Top's done the card on it. So it was quite funny. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
And here we find some Topps Chrome Sapphire from the 22-23. Trying to complete the collection. Let's see if we can get them all.
If it is difficult to find women's soccer in some of the card shows, especially the Sapphire, they make them very limited.
That's the truth. And over here, while we see more graded cards, nothing that particularly caught our attention. There is a lot of WWE here. It seems quite popular for Scots. Some American football, a lot of Celtics of Glasgow players. Well, and here are those cards from Dennis Rodman and Michael Jordan from Fleer.
We were talking to the owner about how he had got them, if he collected them, because he had a stand that in addition to basketball, soccer and Pokemon cards, as you can see they're just quite good. We continue seeing cards here. As you can see, there are a lot of parallel scars, number high.
And here is El Niño Torres from Select. What a cool card. Well, looking at many of these stalls, we saw that they had cards with color stickers placed in boxes.
And at the top of the box they indicate the prices of each of the stickers. That's great, especially for the encouraging collecting among the little ones, because then they see what they can spend and then look at the pile of cards they have. What do you think, Danny?
The truth is quite nice. They are not very high prices, not very top-notch cards either, but who knows? Treasures can always be found.
It's always good to take a look at them, and you can always find a card that will appreciate significantly in the future.
Exactly.
You always have to look out for those rookies or those patches to certain footballers who aren't yet very well known but could become so in the future.
Today we saw, for example, the Topps Stadium rookie cards from a young Real Madrid footballer which price is increasing a lot. And here more cards, nothing too fancy.
But hey, look how cool Mbappe is as a comic book.
It really is, what a card!
And what do you think, Danny, about these t-shirts we have here? An artist drew the player on the shirt and have some of them signed.
Yes, tremendous work from this guy. The truth is that those t-shirts look very nice. A little overpriced for us, but they take a lot of work. and we didn't find much sport cards here.
We came to this stall that had a ton of sport boxes, but just prices. What did you think of them, Danny? Did you like it, any of it? Did any of it catch your attention?
There were things that caught my attention, but the prices put me off. It's almost exact conversion from pounds to euros, and the pound is almost 1.17 times more than the euro, so we were losing by quite a bit. I noticed that even though it was in pounds, it seemed expensive, and then the conversion to the euro.
Here was another store that also had a few boxes and they had them in display cases. I don't know if it was a local store that could have brought in its own furniture, but it was very nice.
Yes, with their own stock there. The Donruss box there from Select World Cup is very cool, very cool. Here are some Topps Chrome basketball, Topps Chrome baseball, Topps Chrome football, a lot of boxes. Pay attention to these two Futera cards, because at the end we are going to show you what we have got. Tremendous cards. You could be anything from the World Fishing Champion of 1979
to the world champion in eating the most hot dogs in the shortest amount of time.
Thank you very much for the greeting. And here at this stand they had something unusual. These cards that look like trading cards, but they are actually prepaid phone cards from the past. Well, look at these Titanic cards, Star Wars cards. Yes, an antiquity that we didn't know was collected, to be honest. There are lots of editions of these phone cards with different themes in the UK. we saw some that we love. These 4 cards from South Park that you can see here. They came home. The truth is that it was the last thing we were thinking of buying, but yeah, used phone cards from the 90s, friends. In addition to this album that we see here on the right, in this album on the left they had retro cards.
Finally, the only style where we sell retro cards.
Yes, they are stickers from the Premier League. Really nice to be able to look at history here.
And they also have individual packs for sale.
Exactly, you know, friends, we do not recommend in any case that you buy individual packs, because they can be weighted and you can see that the size is different, so probably you won't get anything from those packs. And here we have this special store. They had memorabilia, they had these signed jerseys. Look at this, was from Fernando Torres, Liverpool's number 9. A bit expensive.
I also have a few cards about football and other various themes.
They also had a few cards about football and other sports.
Above all, we saw cards about women's football.
Yes, they are not usually seen much in these stands, but they had top cards in these display cases. Look at this palatial, different level cards from the other stalls.
It's also nice to see memorabilia at the card show, because I think it's another way to call it, and it's more personalized, signed by your favorite player or someone from your favorite team.
Exactly. Another sponsor of the event was Goldin. They were there taking some of the items from the people for auction.
And of course the Showtime cards that are sold at the card shows sponsored by Tops, where we were able to buy a box on the second day because the first one sold out.
Look at this t-shirt. There was a raffle. They make a survey and you get a number. No luck for us. And over here we have MGC, this UK card grading company, did a live grading in the show, and also there was 15 free gradings. A nice initiative. Here we can see some of the TCG cards. Some of the Marvel ones were really nice. They were actually well done. Here we can see also a bit of WWE cards. There were tons and tons of these cards, almost more than other sports. ¿Qué es esa? Here is this little store that we already saw in the London Card Show. It has Pokemon disguised as other Pokemon, which we find very funny and very nice. And one of the people at this store, a very nice girl, recommend us a couple of card shows, one in Cardiff, all about the sports card, and another Excel show that is gonna be in London. Not the London Card Show, but another one more for TCG people. There were many cards from Lorcana too. What do you think about them, Sarah? What do you collect?
Well, look, I collect Hercules from this section. I took all of those. But pay attention to what we are going to see now. Disney character patches and cards. First time we've seen something like this. The threes, we were quite surprised. some cards from Mark Simpson.
Yep. And all these Japanese collections. There were some complete collections. You can see here complete sets like this one from South Park, but it's really nice. It's full. Nice cards from the 2000. But look at the price, guys. £250 for this collection. And look at the one behind, this Dexter one, £300. They were really expensive, but they look really, really cool. Also, here we have some autographs for different Hollywood actors and actresses.
good fans.
Yeah.
I think, were you the goalkeeper when we...
No, when we beat Spain, it was Angus Gunn. Yeah, Andy Robertson maybe to Atletico.
Andy Robertson.
Yeah. That's the rumour at the moment. So.
Let's see.
Maybe, yeah.
Thank you very much. We are here with one of the main organizers of the Dublin Card Show.
Jason, my name is
Jason.
Yeah.
How are you, Jason?
Doing really good, yeah, here at the Scotland Card Show, just excited to be back in Scotland and picking up all of the Scotland Card Show's organisers' best ideas to bring home to Dublin.
That's great.
Yeah.
What do you think about this card show?
It's really good. There's a lot of TCGs at it, but the sports people that are here, the sports collectors that are here are passionate and are very relieved when they come to the table. We're lucky to have a range of tops SPFL products, so guys are coming up, looking for St Mirren cards, Motherwell cards, not just Celtic and Rangers, and we're making a lot of football fans, Scottish football fans, very happy today. So I'm happy.
That's great. What about the Dublin Card Show? Do you have any news? When it's gonna be?
Yes,
or
I can say that we just signed the contract for year 3, and we'll be announcing the date for the third year for the 2026 show in the next week or 2 weeks. So, but it'll be around the same time, end of February, beginning of March, that it usually is.
And can you tell us any of the sponsors?
I cannot reveal
Not yet.
that commercially sensitive information just yet, but I can tell you we'll have an amazing lineup of sponsors as well as an amazing lineup of Irish and international vendors, as always. So we're excited to bring a bigger and better Dublin Card Show back for year 3.
Great. And the last question is, what do you collect?
Me, I collect Republic of Ireland cards. So, like this one here is 1994 World Cup Upper Deck Roy Keane card, and you can see it's in English and in Spanish. So there you go. Yeah.
Great.
So I collect Ireland cards. That's my collection.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are here with Jack from Card Hobby.
Yes.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine at the Scotland Card Show. A lot of people here. It's day 2. Yeah, so far
What do
so
you
good.
think about the show?
The show? So Jordan, the organizer, planned it actually very well. A lot of visitors, and the actual planning of the whole show is also very good. I'm satisfied. My colleague is also satisfied. We like it. Yeah.
And what Card Hobby bring to the people?
So Card Hobby is actually a platform where you can buy single cards and also sell cards. And basically we have collectors all over the world who buy cards from this platform. Yeah. It's
But
like
do you work with Daka? Or how
Yes,
it
so
works?
Daka is a product made by Card Hobby. It's like a company under Card Hobby. And Daka creates its own soccer cards. It's basically all licensed products. We got soccer teams from a Belgium national team, for example, or also clubs from the Premier League, like Manchester City. And yeah, we basically sell our own products here, also present them at the card show, as well as like TCG products. We got over there some like simplified Chinese Pokemon, and also some like a little bit of Tops and Panini.
Great. And what do you collect?
I myself only collect one player, and that's like Neymar
Neymar
Jr.
Jr.
Yeah. That's like my PC and my favorite soccer player.
And what do you think is your best card?
My best card at the moment is one-of-one Neymar Jr. It's a Barcelona set, but it's like I'm not sure what it's called.
It's one of the anniversary editions.
No, it's like it's a small box. I'm not sure what the name is. Yeah, it's a Barcelona product.
It's a Barcelona box.
Yes,
where
exactly.
you get the one-of-one Neymar.
Exactly. Yes.
Great. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Okay guys, let's go with the score of this card show. So our score was a 7.4. Tables, we give it a 3. There wasn't many. Shops 6. There was some top sponsors, but there was a lack of sports cards. Variety a 4. There were some cards from other sports, but not enough for us. The quantity of people going to the show, it was a 9. There was a lot of people there. The organization, we give it a 7 because there should be more sport card shops on this kind of events. The place a 10 because it was in the city center, really nice place. We didn't have to wait a lot to get to the cards, so we give it a 7. And services, we give it a 10 because it was nice to have a supermarket, to have different places to eat, to have an ATM. It was really nice. And let's go with the ranking now.
The Scotland Card Show is in 7th place. In the top 3, Collected, the Dublin Card Show and the Iberian Card Show.
This is a good score. There should be more sport cards, shops and stalls in these kinds of events to get a better score in our point of view. And coming up next, guys, we have Card Madness in Düsseldorf this weekend. Thank you for watching and see you next time!